Today we're driving the 2024 Audi SQ7. This is a 500 horsepower, 4-liter twin-turbo V8 that actually sounds like a proper V8. 8-speed automatic, quattro all-wheel drive. This is the Prestige, which starts at a little over $96,000 with destination. This has a handful of options: luxury package, laser light package, Bang & Olufsen sound system, which is a $5,000 option. Total price on this is a little over $108,000. We'll put all the details in the description. Let's walk you guys around this SQ7 today. It's snowing. We've got kind of a wintry mix outside, so it should be pretty fun to enjoy this thing in some snow and slippery conditions. We are on a set of winter tires today. Let's start on the outside. We'll walk you guys around this and then we'll go for a drive. We drove an SQ7 last year, and I've got to say, it is probably one of my favorite 3-row performance crossovers. It's not the most attractive looking SUV, but it just drives great. This 4-liter V8 snarls away. It's got tons of personality. The ride is comfortable. The suspension tuning is expertly done. It handles surprisingly well for being the size that it is. Rides on air springs, so it can adjust ride height. It's pretty low right now, and you can raise it up for off-road mode. It can tow, it can haul the family. Third row is a little bit cramped for adults, but in a pinch, it would work. We've got that folded down because I've got some photography equipment in the back, but overall, a pretty nice SUV. We did do a more in-depth walk around on one of these last year, so go check out that video. It's also a chance to see what this performs like in the dry, but good amount of room in this. I mean, for the money, it's not cheap, but you're getting a lot of value here and a lot of performance. Really solid feeling car, from the steering feel to the door closed to the way this thing just barrels down the road. It is pretty unflappable today. What are we on? Continental winter contact winter tires in 255/50 R20s. And same size for the rear square setup. Nice. Let's take a look at this twin turbo V8. .500 horsepower, 568 pound-feet of torque. Can't see much, just a bunch of plastic. Rated for about 17 miles to the gallon combined. See what the back seat feels like behind my driving position. We have the suede headliner here. Carbon fiber bits throughout the interior. Rear sunshades. Climate controls in the back. Nice little armrest. Not sure what that is. Left in there from the previous journalist. Nice panoramic sunroof, even though you can't really see much out of it today. I'm 5'10", pretty comfortable in the back of this SQ7. All the seats in this feel very sporty, very supportive, lots of adjustment. Even the second row feels like it's bolstered a little bit. If you were hustling this thing around a back road, all your passengers should be pretty well fitted into the back of this SQ7. We fold these seats flat. Nice 7-seater configuration. No real major changes to the 2024 SQ7 here. We still have a lot of screens. Screen here for your climate controls, screen here for your infotainment, screen here for your gauges. I don't mind it. It all works pretty well. You do get some haptic feedback, a little bit of a click. That's a vibration and a sound when you touch this display. CarPlay, Android Auto, both connect wirelessly. It's quick, responsive, no bugs with it this week. And I actually don't mind this climate control setup down here. It works with gloves on, which is nice. Heated, ventilated seats. Can't find a heated steering wheel on this, and for the money, that is quite an omission, especially in the winter. Reverse camera looks good. It does adjust and turn and rotate as you rotate the wheel. Pretty cool little Audi thing there. The shifter feels nice. You can flip it over into manual mode. I do miss the old classic Audi gauges. These digital gauges, they look fine. They're nothing special, but before they were best of breed. I think Audi had some of the coolest, sharpest, nicest looking gauges in the business, and this just doesn't do anything for me. It's just not that special. You can select between a few different views, but none of them are particularly interesting. You can get more information, less information. I have this set to kind of a reduced display right now, but nah, it does the job. At least it's easy to read and clearly defined. Down here we can choose between multiple different drive modes. We're probably going to be playing around mostly today in individual, which I have set to balanced drive, comfort suspension, comfort steering, and present engine sound, which sounds quite good. Cup holders, wireless phone charging down here, which just boils your phone. Glove box, lots of piano black, but it actually seems to have held up pretty well in this press car. Not in super high traffic areas. I like the silver here, and this is a really attractive looking interior. I like the finishing. The materials all just feel top notch. I mean, for $100 grand, this is a really, really nice SUV. All right, let's go for a drive. See how this does in the snow. We're gonna start with traction control on, and then we'll turn things off and have a bit of fun. Two transmission drive mode settings, drive and sport. Sport will keep your revs up a little bit higher, give you quicker shifts from this 8-speed auto. You can take over and put it into manual mode with the paddle shifters. Paddles are kind of plasticky, but the gearbox in this SQ7 is so responsive that it's actually a pretty nice gearbox to live with. Put it over into manual mode. Even though the shift direction is wrong, it's forward to upshift, back to downshift. It should be the opposite. That's okay. We will forgive it. We get a traction control button, which is awesome. Can pretty much put down all of this 500 horsepower in the wet, in the snow. This quattro all-wheel drive system paired with a set of winter tires is pretty awesome. It's like the snow isn't even on the road. Lovely gearbox to play with. Good braking performance. It's awesome how much fun you can have in a big enthusiast SUV. Take a little bit slow around these corners. This looks kind of icy, kind of slippery. Slow in, clear traffic, fast out. What a thing. And you can enjoy it with all your friends too. I love it. Most of the time you're driving this, it's super comfortable. With the suspension in comfort mode, it's actually a little bit floaty, a bit too soft. I kind of like it more in the balanced setting. It'll stiffen up in dynamic mode, but again, not too much. It still remains comfortable and very, very confidence-inspiring most of the time. It's upset by very little on the road. Very, very fast. Because of the weight of this thing, it doesn't quite feel like full-blown 500 horsepower like you would have in a sedan. But because of the weight, it also puts its power down very well. I think the word here is unflappable performance. We've mostly been tooling around in ESC fully off. Let's try ESC Sport and see how that handles things. Should be a slightly reduced setting, but still give us some intervention when we need it. Getting us rotated nicely. There is just so much traction. Even when you're understeering in a corner, it'll apply brake pressure to the rear just to get that rear rotated around. That's awesome. Let's do a little acceleration here. Very stable in the snow, not upset by lane changes. These are not super deep conditions that we have today, just a top layer of about an inch or two. This is a fun SUV to drive. That's kind of what I gathered after my week in it last year too. You don't have to just be in the snow to enjoy this thing. The traction in the dry is seriously impressive. It does everything very, very well. Dip into a neighborhood here. I am still hearing and feeling some intervention even with everything completely off. That's to be expected. Doesn't really seem to be affecting things too much though. perfect slide.
Whoa. Do you want...
It's just so well balanced. You've got to love Quattro all-wheel drive. Little launch control for you there. Awesome. All right, guys, well, that's gonna be a wrap on this video. Thanks so much for watching. SQ7, pretty awesome vehicle to live with. You're paying for it, but yeah, as a daily, I prefer this over some of the other German rivals. It's a little bit easier to live with, a little bit easier to use. The tech isn't so overwhelming in here. Yes, there are lots of screens, but Audi keeps constant icons for your most commonly used things. They do a really nice job kind of making this SQ7 easy to use on a daily basis, and gosh, it just drives awesome. I love this V8. All right, thanks again for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Take care.